going into this game against the Bears, what do y'all think? I'll be honest, I don't know what to think. We're going to do this show, and we're just going to run with it. So this is episode 732 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. The new year is almost here. In a couple of days from the show being aired, the Falcons are going to be playing the Chicago Bears in Chicago. The Chicago Bears are 6-9. They've been looking pretty good, 3-2 in their last 5 games. Falcons also have been 3-2 in the last 5 games, but for some reason the Bears look like they've been on somewhat of a mission. You know, they've been playing competitively against a few teams. Falcons have been backsliding, even though they did win a pretty, respectable game against the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, because I'm not really sure what to expect in this game. But I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on what I think should happen based on what I've seen this year, but I really don't know. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. Also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. You can follow me on X at VF Baller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. As this game gets closer, honestly, now let me stop right there. I'm going to go. I want to get some house cleaning done really quick. First and foremost, if you want to support the show, CashApp and PayPal links are below. Also, the show, not this show, but starting next year, 2024, the show will go back to being shown in the morning instead of the evenings. Because I said this in the last episode, a lot of people were, watching the show in the morning. Like, I'll do the show in the evening, but most of the people who watch or listen to the show, it'd be mostly in the morning. So I'll just upload it in the morning for you guys to listen to. That's basically how that's going to go. But if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or any other podcast avenues, and yeah, I'll have those up in the morning at the same time, so you guys won't miss a thing. Now, when it comes to this game, the Falcons are a little back and forth. Like this last game, 29-10, they beat Indianapolis, and it looked like this team could have been the team that was, this looked like the team where it should have been this all season. They looked good. They played very well. Unfortunately, it wasn't the original QB1 that actually played. It was Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke, from all intents and purposes, now look like he's going to be okay to play. The only person that's on the injury report is Caleb McGarry. He's questionable, but it's good to have Taylor Heineke back. That gives us the best chance to win this game. So with his ankle, hopefully he'll be fine. And if this team could play anywhere close to how they played against Indianapolis, they should win this game. The Bears they've been playing better football as of late. They almost beat Cleveland off of a crazy Hail Mary. They beat Detroit single-handed, and they beat Minnesota, two teams that we lost to. And they also beat Arizona, which is crazy. They beat Arizona. 3 teams that we've lost to, but they've shown that they can play football and win these games. We're going up to Chicago where it's cold. It's going to probably be one of those type of games where it's just like how the Jets game was or the Carolina game was, where it's like cold. I don't know if it's going to be wet or anything out there, but I know it's going to be a cold game. Can the Falcons get the run game going to make the defense not want to tackle? Now, and on the surface, that's basically what it's going to be. I want to see us air the ball out a little bit. That'll be cool. But if we can wear this team down with the run game, then that will give us a really good chance. Now, on the other side, Chicago has been running the ball pretty well too. You got Justin Fields and able to move around as a quarterback. He likes to run. He's been running more, and that could cause problems for Atlanta. Go back and look at the Arizona game. Go back and look at the Minnesota game. Those running quarterbacks give the Atlanta Falcons a lot of problems. And I just don't know how that's going to play out with this team, because is this defense going to be able to contain that a little bit? Are they going to force Justin Fields to throw? And I think that's going to be the big deal. If they can force Justin Fields to throw the ball and make them, get away from the run game, that's going to bode well for the Falcons, because they got to force him to throw. I'm not saying force him to drop back and he can take off. No, they have to force him to throw the ball, because if he takes off, it's going to be Josh Dobbs all over again. So they're going to have to find a way to get him to throw the ball. And I think our secondary is good enough to hold down whatever the receivers the Chicago have. They have some fairly decent ones, but I think that we should be able to overcome that. Hopefully we can get some pass rush in that aspect as well, if we're going to be forcing them to throw. The Atlanta Falcons are so mediocre, man. I just don't know what to expect from this team. I basically just laid out what should happen. Well, I ain't gonna say what should happen. What needs to happen in this game for this team to win. And it's just one game they look great, next game they look crazy. Like the Atlanta Falcons look so mediocre. I mean, they're 7-8 right now, and they have put up 287 points this season. They've gave up 288 points this season. That's how mediocre they are. They gave up just about the same amount of points that they scored, and they're 7-8. And it's like they can't get out of their own way. I just don't understand it. I mean, at this point, you kind of do. You kind of understand it, because you have, a coach that basically whiffed on the quarterback. I mean, that's what happened. You look at everything that happened with this entire team. Everything on this team, for the most part, is clicking. I know some people want to, for the sake of, discussion and chats, and people are in Discords or on Twitter or just even on YouTube or Facebook. A lot of people try to talk about other things for the sake of discussion. But we know what it is. We all know what it is. We know that you got a situation where your quarterback is just not up to the task. He's not up to the task. And I don't think it's all his fault. Coach Arthur Smith could have done something to get him more acclimated, like give him more reps in the preseason. That would have been absolutely nice. But now, that's hindsight. And at this point now, you're looking at a team that is fighting for their lives just to have a winning record. Not even worried about getting the playoffs or getting winning the division. They're just trying to get a winning record. They're trying to surpass the win total from last year. Because the last 2 years you went 7-10. Right now you're 7-8 with 2 chances to surpass your win total. And if you surpass your win total, you would think that would be a good thing. But the way things happened at this point, it looks really bad on the coaching in the coaching staff. But that's a little bit going off on a tangent with what we're talking about here. The Chicago Bears, honestly, the Chicago Bears should not beat the Atlanta Falcons. They should not. And I'm not saying that because the Bears are inferior or the Falcons are just way better or anything like that. It's just that you look at these teams side by side, everything is plus Atlanta except for the quarterback. And that just goes to show you how important the quarterback position is in football, not just the NFL, but in football. You just have to realize at some point we didn't get the quarterback that we thought we was going to get. And I think that probably cost us this division. That probably cost us this, a playoff spot. And in some cases, it probably cost us this game as well. You look at even with Taylor Heineke there, I think Taylor Heineke gives us the best chance to win, but we should have had a bona fide number one quarterback that plays like a number one quarterback, but we just don't have it. And that's going to be the Achilles heel of this game. That's going to be the reason why we lose this game if we don't win it. And it's not, I won't even blame Taylor Heineke for losing the game unless he goes out there and completely wets the bed. But I feel like we should have had a quarterback on par or just better than Justin Fields at this point. Now, you can say, oh, Justin Fields, this, that. Well, I'm just talking about numbers-wise. We should have had a quarterback under center right now playing against the Bears that probably should have had maybe 18 touchdowns and maybe 6 or 7 interceptions minimum. But you gotta went 10-10 and not talking about the fumbles that he had as well. It's just a disaster. It was a disaster. So when you look at this game, they gave them the Falcons a 51% chance to win. It's almost a push. They're the Bears are 2-point favorites. I mean, that's just how lopsided this game is. The Bears are 2.5 point favorites, but the matchup predictor on ESPN is giving the Falcons 51.1% chance to win. That's how backwards this whole thing is. It's really backwards. You know, I mean, now I'm not even talking about player personnel, X's and O's or anything like that. I'm not even going to get into all that. It's just that the fact that you see what these teams are about. You see what the Falcons are about after, 15 games this season. You know what it is. And for some reason, we just cannot overcome that. I mean, hopefully Tampa Bay lose to New Orleans, but even with that, they're going to have a 3-way tie at 8-8 if Atlanta wins. It's going to be a mess, man. It's going to be a mess. And I mean, how does that work? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Only thing we can do is try to win out. That's all we can do, man. Hopefully we can do it. I'm not really sure at the end of the day. I gave the case of what would help us win. Make Justin Fields throw the ball. Don't let them run all around us. And for us, we need to run the ball. We run the ball and we stop them from running. It's going to be the deciding factor of this game. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure, y'all. If you like this commentary, the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Do the Falcons win this game? Do the Bears win it? I mean, it's going to be weird. If New Orleans win and Atlanta win, it's going to be a 3-way tie of 8-8. It's going to be really, really weird how things play out for the end of the season. Man, I would never. It's crazy. I can be found on the YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Follow me on X or Twitter at vf.com. vf.com. Wow. Follow me on that. Don't go to that website. Follow me on X or Twitter at vfballer. And the website is firstandframeraise.com. CashApp, PayPal links up below if you want to support the show. And I will see you guys after the game. I'm going to do a post-game review or a show or whatever about what's going on in this game. I may go live, not 100% sure, but we'll see. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.